Good morning. This is the Economic Development Advisory Board meeting for Wednesday, April 17th. May I have a roll call?
Thomas Blond, Tim Davis, Bill Ellinger.
Present.
Carol Killian.
Here.
Lawrence McDermott.
Here.
Ruth Traeger.
Here.
Bishop Derek Triplett. We have a quorum.
Oh, thank you very much. May I hear an approval of the minutes for Wednesday, February 20th?
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There was one teeny tiny thing, but I didn't want to make it part of the change. But on page 2, under C, Vision Foundation, I think that's Mr. McDermott, not Ms. McDermott.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
I will make that correction.
That's okay.
Might
I
be better
didn't
next time to leave the Mr.
see. That proves I actually read them. See.
It does.
Yeah.
Reports, please, Mr. Earhart.
Well, good morning, and thank you again for having us here at the Daytona Beach Economic Development Advisory Board. If we allow me to start by saying welcome and congratulations to your newest member, Mr. Ellinger.
Right.
Nice to have you back in the fold. The new and improved Phil. I would like to bring your attention to Space Florida. I made a presentation to County Council. It'll be 2 weeks ago tomorrow. It was basically just an informational presentation for council purposes to understand a little bit better who Space Florida is and quite a bit more about the commercial spaceport that organization is working to bring to the state of Florida. The response was, for the most part, positive. There were quite a few public comments expressing concerns about environmental issues. And the council ultimately decided that they would like for staff to bring back a resolution for their consideration, and the hope is that that will be not at tomorrow's council meeting, but 2 weeks from tomorrow, so that would be Thursday, the 2nd of May. Just so to keep you in the loop on that. That may not directly impact, or may not seem to directly impact the city of Daytona Beach, but it's our position that that would be a tide that would lift a lot of boats across the county, not just in the southeast portion of the county where a commercial spaceport may be located. As an example, Embry-Riddle, excuse me, the aviation aerospace technology that they bring to bear for opportunity like that could be very significant. And as Mr. DeBello, Frank DeBello, the president and CEO of Space Florida, made clear, commercial spaceport is like a pyramid, and the tip of the pyramid is what we think of as the launch complex. That's significant, but the real value would be in the supply chain that would ultimately feed that launch complex. So this is really a different business model for exploring space. It is commercial, it's not government, and so how these people would go about doing it would be for a for-profit model. So people like Jeff Bezos and other billionaires who are definitely interested in exploring space. So we're excited about the opportunity. We're awaiting further guidance from council to see where that takes us, and certainly further efforts by Space Florida to position the state and this location in the minds of these decision makers, these billionaire decision makers.
Rob, do you sense that there may need to be more of a showing, so to speak, by the business community who see the inherent value of that area? I'm kind of familiar with the area because I've gone fishing down there, and it's a beautiful, pristine area, and don't get me wrong, I love the area, but if you look around the spaceport down in Canaveral, there's more wild animals and fish and whatever else down there because they keep that completely natural, except for the launching pads and few outbuildings that they have there. But do you think that the business community, the chamber, maybe this group here should have some sort of outpouring of support to the effort by Space Florida? Because I understand that there are environmental concerns, but generally speaking, I think all business works around those concerns when they build things, Other than that, I mean, the land will probably be used, 20, 30 times a year maybe, if that much, because of the, that many shots, usually once or twice a month. So what's your sense about that?
To answer your question directly, I think it will help to have a balance for anybody who's in a decision-making role, be it a policy or otherwise, to understand not only the environmental concerns but the business potential as well. At the last council meeting, Jim Cameron from the Daytona Regional Chamber made some public positive comments about the business aspects of this, so that was helpful. There were also 2 Embry-Riddle students who spoke to the opportunities that they personally felt like it was going to bring to bear, not only for them but for their fellow students at Embry-Riddle. So that said, I don't have the numbers, but my sense was that it was at least 6-7 to 1 public comments expressing environmental concerns versus the business concerns. So again, I think it will be definitely helpful to have a balance there. People understand, again, the real finer points of that pyramid, and I'm reaching out to Space Florida to try to express to them that if they can start to attach some job creation numbers to the various levels of this pyramid and some capital expenditure numbers, this is an industry that, as Mr. DeBello pointed out, that's almost a $300 billion a year industry globally. And so for me, to think that the United States has very little market share in that presently, and that an effort to recoup some of that share could center somewhere here in Volusia County, Florida, I think is pretty exciting.
Forgive me, but where exactly is the property?
Currently, Space Florida is talking about a property that most people remember as the Shiloh Citrus Community. It's southeast of Oak Hill. So if you're familiar with State Road 3, where it turns off of US 1, if you're going south on US 1, it makes almost a 90-degree turn to the right before it goes over the railroad tracks. Mm-hmm. So right at that point, the State Road 3 goes off from there, and so the property in question is just a couple of miles south on the right-hand side.
It's in the thriving community of Scottsmore. Okay. Which actually was a community back started in the 1800s. It's no longer there, basically, but except for the raccoons and such. But there's
just one
in there.
Well, just one follow-up comment. In all fairness to the people that expressed the environmental concerns, is that I don't recall any of them saying that they were anti-space or anti-jobs or anti-job opportunities. They were all very concerned about this particular site. So, and I think Ms. Northey put it best to say we should be supportive of commercial space launch, and certainly locating it in a place that would benefit residents of Volusia County. But for her part, she's got questions about the existing assets on the Kennedy Space Center. Ms. Cusack, I think, also made a good point that several years ago, when that large development came public in that general area, Glenn Storch, local attorney, represented the Farmington community. There was a lot of initial environmental concerns expressed about that, but the point that she made was, in working through this, having a collaboration and some communication, people were able to understand concerns on both sides, the opportunities, develop solutions, and so it was her hope that more communication would potentially lead to something like that. So. Just a few other points. On tomorrow's council agenda, County Council will be considering the local financial support for a QTI tax refund application by DME Automotive. I think most people think of it as a Daytona Beach firm. It's south of the airport. It's technically on a parcel that's in an unincorporated Volusia, but we all think of it as a Daytona Beach firm. They have over 300 employees on that location, and they're looking to continue to grow the automotive component business unit of that corporation.
Rob, is that to induce the bond?
I beg your pardon?
Is that for inducement of the bond?
This would be for the council's consideration of the local financial support, or 20% of the pot of money that ultimately would go to paying their tax refund incentives should that application get approved by the state. And that's not yet occurred. I always get asked about JetBlue, so I'll just volunteer that we don't know any more yet about JetBlue. The comments continue to be encouraging, but there's no decision been made. And finally, and probably most importantly, latest unemployment figures, if you missed those for the month of February, were 7.6%. So that's another step in the right direction. And in my view, as importantly, the number of unemployed has dropped below the 20,000 level. It's almost below 19,000. It was just a few numbers above 19,000. So things are moving in the right direction. And our next Q report with that and other information will be 2 weeks from this Friday. That's Friday the 3rd of May at the in the Volusia Room at the Daytona Airport. You're all invited.
All right, is anyone, excuse me, Rob, and this could be Rob or Keith, tracking the AO Precision hiring? I mean, the census increase since they've moved in a new building. Do we have any sense about that, what that is?
They didn't wait, I think, the day after they got their CO for that expansion. They began putting equipment in there.
Yeah.
Steve Koch is very busy about trying to build his operation to 24/7, 7 days a week. And in terms of the numbers, they're on track toward hiring. He laments that he would still like to have more level 2, level 3 CNC operators, but we're continuing to work with them to try to meet those needs and at the same time fulfill this training pipeline that we helped establish through Daytona State College and the Center for Business Excellence.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Well, that was a lot. Thank you very much. Keith?
I'd like to compliment Rob and his team on the fact that you guys have been working so closely with Daytona State College and the VMA in order to feed that personnel pipeline, because I definitely remember a visit well over a year ago where Steve Koch expressed his desire to expand, but also expressed grave concerns about finding the people in order to make it work. And I think you've come a long way. I've been surprised at the community's effort and very pleased and the fact that they went forward with it, in spite of the fact that at the time I think we met with him and he was bemoaning the lack of skilled labor. He did not have a full warehouse floor for his existing building. He could have put more machines in there. So for their moving forward, that's a great vote of optimism and good for the community. And thanks for all your guys' effort.
I appreciate that, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say that only allows us to build on the relationships that you established in your tenure with the county's economic development director. So thank you.
Very good. No, it's probably very true. Keith?
Thank you. Great pleasure to be here today. Excited to be able to give you an update on our activities. As you know, this year we ratcheted up the amount of outreach activities to raise the exposure of Volusia County now that our direction is totally involved in outreach and identification of companies that might have an interest in Volusia County from outside the county. So as you are aware, the schedule has about 30 outreach activities for the year, which is aggressive, mainly centering around site location consultants who do control and suggest areas to their clients. So it's important to stay in front of them. So we are centering a lot of our activities around that aspect. I just came back from Washington, D.C., meeting with consultants up in the capital area. But since we last met, we've done several trade shows. Plastech in Orlando, where we actually identified a project who has visited, so we're excited about that. We exhibited at PIA, the PIA Symposium at Ocean Center, and while we would typically not do local shows, there were exhibitors from all around the world. In fact, right across from our exhibit was a manufacturer from Munich, Germany. We identified a project from that trade show. That project has already visited, is considering land, a site in Daytona Beach for his facility. So we're excited to see that, our outreach activities are bringing companies to the area. I also attended IAMC, the Industrial Asset Management Council. It's a group of about 300 corporate real estate executives and site location consultants. It's about 10 years old, and Enterprise Florida had a special event with 20 of the top site selectors and corporate real estate executives from some of the top companies that control real estate decisions. And of course, Team Volusia participated. Gray Swope was in attendance, Secretary of Commerce for the state of Florida. So we've really been busy. We will be going to Greenville, South Carolina, and Charlotte next week to visit with site location consultants, both in Greenville and Charlotte. And we have a visit with the Economic Development Department with Florida Power and Light next week as well. They are now in the site selection arena with their own economic development director, who is formerly head of the Georgia Power effort. So it's a great opportunity for us to have Florida Power understand the business aspects of our community. So we've already obtained an appointment, thanks to Rob, with Embry-Riddle, Dr. Rod Casto. We have International Speedway Corporation to talk about their new development, and a meeting with Consolidated Tomoka that happens to have 11,000 contiguous acres in Daytona Beach. So we wanted Florida Power to understand what we have here as they do site their projects around the state of Florida. As far as projects, pleased to say that I had a visit with Project Ringtone at their corporate headquarters. They still have decided to have Volusia County as a shelf community ready for the next customer that calls in. They are at full capacity in their operations, and they feel that we offer a great opportunity. We are a community that they believe that they can recruit their 600 employees from, and one of their shortlisted buildings, and there are a few, is in Daytona Beach. They would need temporary space from 20 to 40,000 square feet, temporary space growing to a 60,000 square foot permanent facility, expecting to hire 600 employees.
Wow. So is that very viable, you think?
I believe so. Now, there is growth with Frontier, and I'm pleased to say that Frontier in DeLand is adding over 200 employees with an expansion, 20,000 square foot expansion. Ribbon cutting will be this Thursday in DeLand. And of course, customer support centers always look at the number of customer support centers around. But because that's in DeLand, I believe that we will not be a concern, particularly for their desire to hire the 600 people, because it will draw on different geographic areas, this facility that they're looking at. So really excited about the level of activity that we've seen. Right now, we have, as I've mentioned to you, we do everything in a pipeline. Every activity we do is to fill the pipeline, and we go through stages 0 through 5. Right now, we have 2 projects in stage 4, which is negotiations have been pending, and one of those we hope to announce that, and one is contingent on a contract with its Project Green Earth, is on a contract with Venezuela, and with the change of leadership in Venezuela, even though they are a NASCAR supplier, I'm not sure with them waiting for the NASCAR, with the Venezuelan contract, how that will go. But they are incentivized, thanks to you and the county and the city of South Daytona. So we've got everything waiting for them. Let's hope the contract goes through.
Very good.
But thank you for the opportunity. I'm available for any questions. I just want to commend Rob and Phil. I'll do that for you. The collaboration that we see from the county, the CEO Business Alliance, our cities continues to be great.
That's great.
VMA,
That's good to hear.
all the operations, the Volusia County schools, the colleges and universities, ATC. It's a really great community, and coming from the outside, I can say that because I'm a newcomer. Not so much. I've celebrated my 6-month anniversary, so I guess
still
I'm not a
new.
newcomer.
You're still new enough.
Yeah, still new enough to see all the opportunities that we have.
Right.
And I must say that the shop, because of our new focus of being completely outreach, so that we complement the county's activities completely, we've really turned into a sales operation with, of course, economic development with my broad knowledge, but we really are celebrating every win, every phone call, every interested company. So we look
How's
for
your
great things.
website coming along?
Doing well, and a lot of visits. It's being refreshed weekly, if not daily, with stories about the area, and we do have the need to keep our real estate database refreshed. We're as good as the cities and the real estate community are as far as giving us the updates, and that we're still working with. I hope to meet with the Board of Realtors, Mark over there, to just say, how can we help populate or make sure that our sites and buildings are current? And we have to rely on the real estate community in our cities.
Keith, all you have to do is on the first Wednesday of the month, head up to the Daytona Association Realtors, be there a little bit before 9 o'clock, and you'll meet every key commercial real estate person in the area.
The
Really
first
will.
Wednesday.
The first Wednesday, and if you bring donuts, they really love you.
Okay.
I'm not kidding you.
No, that's a way to do it. And,
Yeah, I'm not a member up there, but I drop in just before the meeting and chat them up, and
You go for the donuts. I know you.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Well, I got
Keep
into
this
one of
fine
the
figure.
key consulting firms around the country by the principal saying, if you feed us, we will meet with you. So that's why I'm flying to Greenville. So I can take the whole group out because they currently have 4 or 5 projects in Florida, and I don't want them to forget Volusia County. So
Is
But if
it
you're
too-
going informal and you're in Greenville, South Carolina, Wild Wings.
what is that?
Wild Wings.
Wild Wings.
Downtown. It is absolutely die for.
Ruth, you had
Is it
Thank
too-
you.
comments?
Is that? Thank you so much. I'll
I know a
mention
lot
that.
about Greenville.
Okay.
All right.
Is it too early to identify some possible suppliers for the spaceport if it passes?
I would say it probably is, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be talking about it. And so we'll bring that up with our friends at Embry-Riddle and make sure that we're getting their insight as to who, long-term, who would be the kinds of companies by name that we would want to.
And that way we can maybe contact them and have a heads up.
That's a great point. Thank you so much, Ruth.
And Keith, thank you for the report.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
Thanks, Keith. Anything else? No?
No, that's right. Great to be here.
Great. Larry? The Daytona Beach Vision Foundation.
Yeah, we've had a couple. Right now, we're really working hard on a project where we're going to set up, with the help of volunteers in medicine, a clinic for the working uninsured. And these are people that are between the ages of 18 and 65 who work and are employed but do not have health insurance and currently get their health care at the emergency room. We've had 3 or 4 different meetings right now. We're trying to work on a site selection. Met at a couple places this last week, trying to assess different things, how much money is going to cost to renovate the place, different other things, location. These places have to be near a bus line because it's a lot of these people don't have, their transportation or their feet, maybe bicycle, that type of thing. So you want to try to stay within a certain geographical area. And we've had a couple good positive meetings. We're working with Florida Hospital, Halifax Hospital, the Jesus Clinic, several other organizations. We've got a couple physicians on, very fine physician, retired physician, Feigenbaum, that's the son, is a judge. First name escapes me, but Dr. Feigenbaum, and he's a retired internist, had a practice for 30 years up in Ormond Beach, and he is basically our medical liaison and leader, so that we won't make any mistakes. We're working with a group of out of Jacksonville, very heavily. Jim Dixon's leading, helping to lead part of this. We have two other folks as well that are leading the committee. And really, Francine Barnes is probably the chair. I guess we would call her the chair of the committee. And really, it's taken a while. We've been working on it a year, but it's got a lot of moving parts.
It's going on 2 years, Larry.
Is it 2 years?
It's about 2 years. This has been a
I guess
really,
it's 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, a really.
It's got a lot of moving parts, and the problem is it's really it's a concept where we thought that the Affordable Care Act would help. It's actually creating more of a need, and we can see that in the community because a lot of the employers are going to more part-time positions and not providing health care. So we've looked at, as I said, looked at 2 or 3 different sites, and as soon as we get a site knocked down, I think we can start working on funding and getting people involved in that way. So, and nothing gets done in this community without funding, as you guys know, especially from a not-for-profit situation. So we're working on that. The train station situation is pretty much on hold right now. There's not much happening statewide. We're still looking for All Aboard Florida to finish up their land negotiations on 528 with the Latter-day Saint Church. Once they buy that, then I think they'll start looking toward the next phase of their project, which would be going north. And I think that's where it's going to end up. I think Amtrak has kind of lost its steam, so to speak. So we're holding back on that. I think, Emery, aren't you doing something as far as the land acquisition on that? Aren't you supposed to be doing some research?
Yes, we're looking at what the site might become whether it has a train station or not. So there's some talk about redeveloping that area.
And the
into
site's
something
right
else.
behind us right here. It's on Magnolia and Seagrave, right behind us. It's the site of the old train station. And it's currently owned by a company called ProBuild, who bought Dunn Lumber out a number of years ago, and they have it up for sale. So we're working on that project, and that's pretty much it. I don't think any questions.
Comments?
There was a clinic on Ridgewood Avenue at one time that is no longer operating. I don't know if it would be equipped. It's, I think, between Daytona and Holly Hill.
Was it up there on the
On
north
Ridgewood?
side?
It was on Ridgewood. It was open at one time. It is now closed, but they might have the inside all, might not take that much to renovate.
Okay. I'll look into it. I'm not familiar with that,
No, we
but
didn't.
I'll ask my.
Quick Care, wasn't it called?
Oh, you're talking about the one in Holly Hill.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know if that would put it outside our limits.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it in Daytona Beach, but we're having to figure
Well,
out.
we're having a hard time finding a space. I think once
Yeah.
it's kind of the consensus right now. We have a lot of support in the community with some of these volunteer doctors who've already come on board, and like Larry said, Halifax and the different hospitals and the United Way as well. And we're stuck until we find a space. We're kind of floating in the wind here, because I think we'll have a lot of financial support as well once we have the space and we can go forward. So if we'll check on that one.
Well, I'll
for
think of
sure.
that, but I didn't think of that because it's outside of Daytona Beach, but we may
Yeah,
have to think
but we
outside the
might have
box,
to,
so to
yeah.
speak, because that could be ready for somebody to walk in.
Right. I mean, that's definitely.
And it's right on a bus line.
And I know Tim Davis has helped us with a couple of spaces and spots around in the area, but there's just not much available. You know,
Good
all
thought.
we need is
I'll write that down, Ruth. Thank you very
yeah,
much.
all we need is like 1,000 square feet to start with. You know, so anyway, thank you very much, Larry.
And also, for nursing, they have to have a certain amount of clinic experience. So if you can contact the two schools of nursing.
Yeah, we're already on
We've,
that.
we've
You
done,
have.
yeah,
Good.
we've been through that whole road,
Yeah.
you know, for quite a while. So,
Yeah, we got a full support of the Thin Cookman's 4-year program
Right,
right now.
so, okay. Any old business to bring up right now? Anybody? New business, Fair Housing Month and Regional Fair Housing Summit.
Yes, I was, this is part of the city's, I'll just read this because it's easy.
Okay.
April is Fair Housing Month. It's celebrated nationally, and the city will sponsor 15 registrations to the Fair Housing Summit that's going to occur in Orlando on April 30th. So we are extending the invitation to our board, our partners as well. We will pay for the registration. It does include lunch. It's going to be at the Florida Mall. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Florida Hotel, which is connected to the Florida Mall. So that's another carrot to persons who would like to shop. It is from 8:30 to 4 p.m. And if you stay the whole time, I understand that you can get a certificate. So it does promise to be a very good event. Last year, I believe the number was 280 persons. They expect well past 300 this year. So the information is there. Please contact Maxine in our office at that number by the 19th. So time is running out. We're targeting persons in the real estate industry, but part of our responsibility is to educate the public as well. So that invitation is out there. For those who are watching at home, that number is 386-671-8058 by April 19th. 386-671-8058. Transportation is on your own.
I thought you were driving me over.
All right. Do we want to jump right into that? Why don't we have public comments first? Are you here to make some comments?
I don't have any comments, just here to observe and learn.
All right. Well, welcome.
Probably have some next.
Okay.
Thank
Would
you.
you
Introduce myself?
introduce
Yes,
yourself? That would be
please, yes,
wonderful.
Let us know.
We don't get too many people at 8 o'clock.
Hi, good morning. My name is Betty Gonzalez. I'm a resident of Port Orange, a student at Stetson and DeLand, a former employee in Daytona, a volunteer in Palm Coast, and a member of the Daytona Beach Young Professionals group. I'm here to learn more about how people in their 20s and 30s can get involved with their communities. Some of the barriers that we've run into is that a lot of times during that age, we're very busy with school and starting families and a lot of things going on. So I'm trying to find out how we can get more people, especially in our group of YPG, involved in groups like local advisory boards. So definitely learning a lot from today's meeting. Thank you.
Well, you're already getting involved.
That's
Right.
wonderful.
Right.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's
Yeah.
you're doing exactly what you need to do. Yes.
Thank you.
We would really like to, and we can all help out privately too on some of these advisory boards. You know, we do need more input and more young folks applying. You can talk with, I guess you know how the application process is to get on a board?
An overview. I've seen the application. I know some of the requirements.
Right.
I've seen the recent list of openings that's out
Right,
there.
good, okay.
We've communicated that to our board, but I'm co-chair of the local government committee, and I've just had trouble having people participate in that.
Sure,
So I think it's
sure.
just about getting in, I have a lot of notes from today, getting information to them so that they know what it is, what
Right.
the time commitment is, what's involved, why it's important, what time to show up, and et cetera. So the more information we can give them, I think the more they'll be willing and really understand what they need to put forth and what they have to offer.
Right. That's fantastic, because we all would love to see more of the younger folks. You know, we all have been around here for a real long time, and we need some young people, some young, involvement. So
Great.
thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
And you're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
But this is also good because if not now, maybe 10 years from now when their
Right.
families are more established.
Right.
So you're getting them interested at least.
Right, and the more you see, the more I hear from today's meeting, the more I can hear people's comments in my head of, this person might be interested in this, or this person works at this
Right.
location. They would definitely be interested in participating. So I
Fantastic.
want to get that to them.
Thank you so much for coming.
One of the things we found over the years is that the willingness of the community and the involvement of the community is a very, very important factor, not only for companies that are considering coming here, but also sometimes for companies that are not so sure that they want to stay here. And we've had success, as Rob knows, and everybody knows, and where companies have been here, they don't feel that they're involved. They're not really sure that this is the place to expand. And it has just taken the community making a specific point, and it's something I think that we could do more of as a board. That's one of the ideas that sort of I had, is that we need to make sure that we do that. And the young professionals are the absolute perfect group to be able to work with, to say, we are young professionals, we're here, we're accountants and lawyers and all kinds of business people, and we want you here, we need you here, and this is the kind of a community that we have. And if somebody feels that they're going to be welcomed into a community and appreciated for what they do, it goes a long way into that, making that decision, because they're making a huge commitment in terms of their own finances. We want to make them feel good about as we go into their pocket. I didn't mean to say that. But,
Yes, you did. Thanks, Phil. That's, yeah.
I would add one last thing, as long as we were here. If you want to see the board application and see the rules, see the descriptions of the various boards and committees of the city, you can just go to the city's website, city clerk's area, and you'll see it.
Yeah, I'll share that with the group. I myself seen it, but I need to share it with them.
Yeah, very good. Okay, we do have to have an election for a new chairman, because I've been sitting up here way too long. It's my turn to go off. So, do I hear anybody jumping forward to volunteer?
Before you do that, I actually wrote it down wrong. It should be election of officers.
Oh.
So it would be a chairman.
Yes,
and vice.
election of officers, you're right. You are absolutely right. Actually, our officers are the chairman and the vice chairman. And I think that's about it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody want to jump forward here?
I'll
Larry?
volunteer to do it but I don't want to nominate
I second
myself.
his volunteer.
All in favor?
I'll volunteer for vice chairperson.
I second
Okay,
that one.
second
Okay.
that too.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we're a very democratic society here. Thank you, Ruth.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to the both. Okay.
And thank you for your service. What has it been, 3 years?
It's been a long, well, I've been sitting on this board, though, for what?
You can continue to sit here
How
on the
long
board.
has this thing
long
been
time.
going on? I've been chairman at least 4 or 5 times, so that's how long it's been here. It's about 10 years?
Well, we've moved up in the world, because when I very first came, we were down in some little dingy room
Yeah, and then
downstairs.
room downstairs, so, and then we got to sit up here,
Wow.
so that's.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't even remember that.
No, that was a long time ago.
That was a lot- that was
Some little
before me.
dungy-
No, before
Some little
you.
dungy
Yeah.
corner
It
with
was
old
before you,
metal
yeah.
crunchy chairs.
I
Oh,
think-
you're talking about room 106.
Well, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I think just
The bad chairs.
for your information as well, this advisory board grew out of a collection of lots of folks in the committee. Yeah, strategic planning thing for, gosh, what 10 or 15? Because you were part of it.
Terry Smith was sitting there.
Yeah, 10 or 15 years ago now, I guess. And we created this advisory board to help the city and the folks. And, of course, we've had a lot of, a couple of different mayors and a few other things. So we've grown, and I think this board in particular has really been extremely effective in coordinating with the county and the city with a lot of the economic development over the years. So I think we're both very proud of being part of this and becoming one of the instigators. So thank you all. Is there any other business comments around the table? Thank you, Larry. Congratulations. My comments to Phil is very personal. I'm so happy that you're
Yep.
part of this board. It's been great working with you over the years, and I hope you will enjoy having a seat up here with us. So welcome aboard.
Buy me lunch and I'll do anything. I'm like a realtor. You feed them, they show up. You know.
No, we're really happy
Well,
to have you on board.
I'm looking forward to helping.
Good. Ruth, any comments?
No, not right now.
All right, thank you. Gentlemen, thank you all. We're adjourned.
When I got home last night,